Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasulihil Kareem. So the next discussion we started yesterday was with regards to, we discussed before that when water is overpowered by something pure, then if the mixing is so dramatic or the change is so dramatic that you won't even refer to that as water anymore, then you cannot make wudu with that, you cannot make ghusl with that. And the next we discussed if some type of najasat fell into your water. So we discussed if it is a little water, if it is maya qalil, if it is a little water, then according to the Hanafi madhab, which is the most rigid with regard to that, even a little najasat, when it falls into the water, it will render it najis. The Maliki madhab has a bit more latitude. They say one of the awsaf must change. The Shafi madhab says if it is two kullas or more, two large buckets or more, like a deg type of a bucket, it will not become najis, right? So that is with regards to Ma'ik Qalil. Then the next thing we discussed was Ma'ik Jari. So Ma'ik Jari is that water which flows. We discussed this year that it flows to such an extent that if you had to put a small twig or something, it would carry it away. And in some of the kitabs also it's explained like this, that if you had to scoop out water from there and you to make wudu, so the water that falls after you say your Ma'i Musta'mal, it falls in. When you come back for a second scoop, that would have been taken away. It's gone. Then that will also be Ma'i Kathir. So that Ma'i Kathir, until if najasat falls in it, its color doesn't change, its smell doesn't change, its taste doesn't change, then there also, you if despite the najasat falling in, you can still make wudu. So the next thing we're going to discuss today is, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what we're going to discuss now is, uh, what we say, always we spoke about maya kathir, a large mass of water or a large body of water. So when it is a large mass of water, when it's a large body of water, there also, we mentioned this before, that if some najasa falls in until the color, either the color, taste, or smell doesn't change, then you can still make wudu with it. Yes, when the color, the smell, or the taste changes, you can't make wudu. Okay, read from there. بجانبيه. Okay, see what I'm saying first. What is considered to be a big pond? والغدير العظيم أي big pond الذي لا يتحرك أحد طرفيه بتحريك طرف الآخر. The one side does not move with the moving of the other side. So there's quite a bit of explanation with regards, but the preferred explanation is this: that if the pond is so big that if somebody is making wudu the side here, you won't see the ripples and the effects on the other side. You understood? And what is that? The idea is that if Najasat falls here, then obviously the Najat, if the ripples doesn't travel to that side, it means the Najasat don't travel to that side. By the time it travel to that side, it will dissipate, it will disappear. So والغدير العظيم, the big pond, الذي, the one لا يتحرك أحد طرفيه, that one of his two sides does not move بتحريك الطرف الآخر, with the movement of the other side. And I tell you simple, what you say, if a person is making wudu at one side of the pond, person making wudu on one side of the pond, and you won't perceive the movement on the other side, then that is considered to be a big pond. That is considered to be a big pond. إذا وقعت نجاسة في أحد جانبيه, if najasat falls in the one side, right, جاز الوضوء من الجانب الآخر, then it will be permissible to make wudu from the other side. So I repeat what he's saying there. If the pond is so big, that if you're making wudu on the one side, you do not feel you do not see the ripple effect on the other side, then we will say that is a big pond, and you can make wudu on the other side, because as long as the najasa did not reach there. لأن الظاهر أن النجاسة لا تصل إليه, because they're saying if the ripple effect of your wudu here doesn't reach to the other side, then obviously it stands to reason that the najasat never reach to the other side. That's what I'm saying. Carry on reading. Yeah, you see, إذ أثر التحريك في السرعة فوق أثر النجاسة. What is somebody saying that Ibarat? First I'll explain what I'm saying, now put it in. That ripples will move faster than the najasat. Ripples will move faster than the najasat. So if by you making wudu here, the ripples did not reach there, then obviously if najasat fell in here, the najasat won't reach there. You know what I'm saying? I repeat that. See, is because atharu tahriki, the effect of the movement, is sirayati in traveling, right? Fawqa athari najasati is greater than the effect of the najasat. In other words, the ripples will move faster than the najasat. And here the najasat never move, then to a great extent, the najasat never travel from the side of the pond to the other side of the pond. You got that? Is because atharu tahriki is the effect of the movement by making wudu is sirayati in moving, in they say in spreading, yeah, I can say, right, so in spreading, fawqa, it is greater than the effect of the najasat. You understood? So, in other words, what he's saying is the najasat, the movement, the ripples will move faster than the najasat. And if the najasat never move, then obviously what? The, sorry, if the ripples never move, then obviously the najasat never move. Read the next one. Right. So now just go back one step. Remember, we said what is considered to be a big pond? That if there's movement on one side of the pond, you will not see the ripples on the other side of the pond, right? Are you? Now the question is, what type of movement are we talking about? Just slightly putting your hand in shaking or scooping water out or whatever. What type of ripples are we speaking about? What type of ripples must it be that you not see the effect on the other side, right? That's what he's saying. ثم عن أبي حنيفة, then according to Abu Hanifa, يعتبر التحريك بالاغتسال. If a person is to bath on the one end of the pond, then you don't see the ripples on the other side, then that is a big pond. You understood that? ثم عن أبي حنيفة أنه يعتبر التحريك بالاغتسال. Then according to Abu Hanifa, the movement by washing is considered وهو قول أبي يوسف, sorry, not اغتسال, by bathing. That is what considered وهو قول أبي يوسف, and this is also the statement of Abu Yusuf. وأنه بالتحريك باليد, and also there's another riwayat also from Abu Yusuf, that if you just have to put your hand in and give some movement in your hand and the ripples are not reach the other side, then that is good enough to be considered a big pond, right? Can you read it? Right. وعن محمد بالتوضع. According to Muhammad, if you have to make wudu on the one side, like you scoop out water and you make wudu, and then you do not see the effect on the other side, then that will be considered to be ma'i kathir. And if it's ma'i kathir, by the jasad falling on the one side, it does not affect the other side. Right? Right. Okay. Right. Read next, Ibarah. Okay. Why they say why? Why do we say that consider wudu? It's not consider a ghusl for the movement. They say what happens most of the time? Bath, maybe you bath once a week, faras ghusl once a week, twice a week, but wudu is 5 times a day. So there's greater need for wudu. So that's why we consider wudu with regard to whether the movement of the ripples travel to the other side of the pond. Are you with me? That's what he's saying there. That's what he's saying. ووجه الأول, the reason why we say that consider wudu أن الحاجة إليه في الحياة أشد منها إلى التوضي. The need, right? Actually, there's people who they say the first wajah is that one day. You They're speaking about what is the wajh awal day. You got anything in the hasha they know? Yeah, what is referred to? Yeah, actually, they're saying here this the first one is ghusl. See there, ghusl. Look there, look again. They say أنه يعتبر التحريك بالاغتسال. يعتبر التحريك بالاغتسال. So they're saying, what they're saying here, Nashara, that the need to make ghusl in a pond is greater than the need for wudu. So the pond must be so large that if you make wudu on the one side, you will not see the ripple effect on the other side. Are you with me? And the reason they give here in the book is that see that normally a person makes wudu in his house. You have a small utensil in your house. Now, to understand, it's obviously go back in time. Obviously, back in time, there wasn't piped water. So a person would have maybe, some utensil, some bucket. You just make wudu from there. So you wouldn't normally go out to the pond to make your ghusl, to jump in the pond and make ghusl in the pond, etc., etc. So uh, the pond is normally used for ghusl. So that shows you that we look at ghusl because that is what is generally done in the pond. You understand what I'm saying? They say, says, وَوَجْهُ الْأَوَّلِ, the first reason, which we said is ghusl. You look at if the effects of the ghusl comes to the other side, أن الحاجة إليه في الحياض. There's the need is to إجارة غسل في الحياض in the ponds. الشد which is greater منها than it إلى التوضي to then wudu, right? وبعضهم قدره بالمسافة 10 في 10 بذراع الكرباس. Some ulama they didn't they didn't look at the effect of the water going from one side to the other side. They fixed it. In fact, once Imam Yusuf was asked that what is Ma'al Kathir? So he said, you see this pond here. This pond here is Ma'al Kathir. And when they measured the Ma'al Kathir, in fact, it's called Deh Dar Deh, was 10 by 10. You can say 10 zira by 10 zira. And a zira is normally half a meter. So 10 half a meters means 5 meters by 5 meters. You understood that? Yeah. So you check the meaning of that. So وبعضهم, some of them, قدروا بالمسافة, they fixed it that they say don't look at whether the ripples go to the other side. Like some scholars look at the ripples when you're bathing. Some scholars look at the ripples when you are making wudu. Some scholars look at the ripples when you are shaking your hand in it. Don't look at it. Just look at the fixed. Look at a fixed, what you call it, a distance. وبعضهم قدروا بالمساحة with a distance 10 في 10 بذراع 10 by 10 بذراع الكرباسي with the ذراع الكرباس means with ذراع refers to arm's length with the arm's length of the kirbas, right? Huh? Yeah. So ذراع الكرباس refer to a particular ذراع, and here they say also I saw also, yeah, it says also like 46, just under half a meter or so, right? So if you say, right, carry on. Yeah. توصية للأمر على الناس. So why fix it at a 10 by 10? To make it easy for the people, to make it easy. Now you're going to tell each one must apply his own mind and he must see that the ripples come to the other side, etc. It's difficult. So just fix it. Once it's fixed, then it's easy to work it out, right? وعليه الفتوى, and the fatwa is on upon that, right? So here we said now 10 by 10, which is, I told you, about, you can say maybe 5 meters by 5 meters. This is with regard to the length and the breadth, right? So وعليه الفتوى, that was with regards to the length. The next is معتبر في الأمق. So now we discuss the length and the breadth of the pond. The next thing is how deep must the pond be? Okay, read from there. والمعتبر. Yeah, yeah. والمعتبر في الأمق أن يكون بحجم لا ينحسر بالاختراق والصحيح. It must be so deep that if you take a generous handful of water, the ground mustn't be exposed. So that shows you it doesn't have to be very, very deep. I mean, maybe even like 5 centimeters or 7 centimeters. With 5 centimeters, you can take a handful out without the ground exposed. If it's so little water that when you take a handful out, the ground exposed, then that is not deep enough. So that's very little. You understand what I'm saying? So if you got something 4 or 5 centimeters, it shows you the ground will be exposed. So that is sufficient. That is sufficient. So والمعتبر في العمق, what is considered with regards to the depth أن يكون بحال in such a condition لا ينحصر بالاختراف, that it will not be exposed, right? Will not be opened up, right? What الاختراف is scooping a handful, right? Carry on. Yeah. So, oh, interesting. So remember, this is now the text of Hidaayah, the overlying text of Quduri Sharif. So now here Sahib Hidayah is commenting on Imam Quduri's text. He's saying, وقوله في الكتاب جاز الوضوء من الجانب الآخر إشارة إلى أنه ينجس موضع الوقوع. The fact that Sahib Hidayah said you can make wudu from the other side, what is he indicating? That this side where the najasat film, that is najis, you can't make wudu. So if somebody urinated this side, or somebody defecated this side, or somebody spermified this side here. So you can now go on the other side. The fact that he said the other side is parked is indicating you must go to the other side. That's what I'm saying. So وقوله في الكتاب جاز الوضوء من الجانب الآخر إشارة كيف أنه ينجس موضع الوقوع. Right. Carry on. Yeah. So وعن أبي يوسف أنه لا ينجس إلا. So this masala is also relevant for us. For example, you got the pool, right? The children is playing in the pool, right? Now you know for a fact the child urinated in the side here, right? You know for a fact. Or you can see the child nappy got dirty, whatever, right? Or somebody told you, I just urinated now. So according to what is written here in the kitab, you can only go on the other side and you can make wudu. You can't make wudu here. Are you with me? That is what, and this is understood from this word here, that jaz al wudu min janib al akhar, right? Are you with me? So that is what Quduri is saying. But here we're going to look at another opinion of Imam Yusuf. See, so we're saying وقوله في الكتاب جاز الوضوء من جانب آخر إشارة إلى أنه ينجس أو ينجس موضع الوقوع, the place where the najasatul fell is najis. But when Abi Yusuf, according to Imam Yusuf, أنه لا ينجس إلا بظهور النجاسة, that this place here where the najasat fell in, if like it was a little urine and you don't see it at all, or if it was a sperm, you don't see it at all, or if it was alcohol, it doesn't see it, then even though it fell here, but you don't see the effect of it, you can still make wudu. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Yes, if you see the effect of it, you can see the pieces of najasa there, etc., then you can't make wudu. You understood that? So وأنا أبي يوسف أنه لا ينجس إلا بظهور النجاسة, except when the jar becoming apparent. Kal mai jari, and this is the same numbers like the mai jari. Remember mai jari? If the water is flowing and the jar falls there, right? Then you can, as long as that the jar is carried away, you can make wudu there. But if you see in the mai jari, you still see the effect of the najasa, then you can't make wudu there, right? So this shows you also sometimes, you got a big, you have a big dam. At one side in Joburg, they were discussing this when there was a water shortage. They said they're going to recycle the sewage water. Now, sewage water is najis. Now, if they take that sewage water directly and they recycle it, it won't be part, right? Because it's najis. But if they to discharge that sewage water into a big dam, and it's such a big dam that you don't see the answer of the najas, then it will be part. You understand what I'm saying? So if you've got najis water, from this you learn, if you got najis water and there's a shortage of water, and you just purify it won't become purified according to the Shariah, because that's not the way of purifying it. There's only one way of purifying it on the Shariah. You need to discharge the sewage water into a large mass of water to such an extent that you don't see the najasat, then it is permissible, that you understand. So I was telling you, sometimes the masla seems so irrelevant. You think now what we talking about water falling in a pond here, what we talk about water falling, well, today you have pools. If the child mess here in the pool here, according to the opinion of Quduri Sharif, you must only make on the other side. Yeah, according to Imam Yusuf, even if you don't see the effect of the urine, whatever here, you can make wudu here. And I was telling you, if you understood this masala properly, you will also understand the masala of recycling najis water. You take the najis water itself and you recycle it. That's not a way of purifying it. But if you discharge it, najis water in the large mass of water, and because it's my kathir, and you don't see the asar of it, it becomes pure. So many a time, sometimes you study the masla here, it looks totally irrelevant. You can't find a contemporary situation to put it on. But maybe you teach the same masla to somebody else, and when you that person who you taught it, a situation will arise where he has to apply it. You understood? Because I was saying you understand the usul behind, inshallah, you will be able to apply it in modern day scenarios as well. Thus, we stop there.